been guilty of this. We are there, and instead of seeing the person as a person, we're sizing them up. We're like, would they be a good father? Would they be a good husband? Are they going to protect? Are they going to provide? And we're really doing this like crazy mental maths in our brain. And because of that, we're just not living in the present. We're not there, and we are certainly maybe not having fun. It is true that dating sometimes feels like serious business. It sometimes feels like a second job, but we so desperately need to bring back the element of fun, of play, because a lot of these dates are starting to feel like job interviews, and that first date can be very much like, okay, what are your intentions? What's your vision for life? What's your theology? Do we agree? Blah, 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 blah. When we forget to just enjoy the person in front of us, how can we really expect to build a connection and to see if we might be called to have a second date with that person? So I want to talk about how we can try to come across best on a first date, and to really allow for that natural organic spark to happen without feeling like we are being interrogated. I think it's really easy when we have this end goal of marriage to go into a first date like, well, this is it. Is it going to be forever? And, I need to know now, like I need to project into the future. And it's really difficult. You've just met this person, they've just met you. And what can we do to really just put our best foot forward and to show that maybe, just maybe, I could be your best friend? Because ultimately that's it, right? You're trying to find this companion type of love. Do I have a good connection with this person? And ultimately, like, one, we should be there listening, not just like building up all these scenarios in our heads as they speak. Listening, hearing what they're saying, being genuinely curious and, asking questions, making jokes, like trying to find some common ground and just being a bit more playful. It's that element of play where there can really be chemistry and sparks. And I saw an interesting thing on Twitter or X recently from a commentator called Rob Henderson, and it said, the primary reason why young men are being left unread is their failure to charm. When it asks why conversations break down, women tell me he was dull, bored and unimpressed, they simply move on. And he goes into this whole argument that now that women are economically and socially very similar to men, that really what they need men for is fun. And look, I'm not going into the politics of it or anything like that, and I know that was very much aimed at men, but what I liked about that message was we have forgotten how to have fun, we've forgotten how to present ourselves in a fun way, and we've forgotten that there is also goodness in entertainment. And I don't mean that in a worldly way, but when someone can make you laugh, that's so special, and you want to be around that more. When someone can make you smile, when someone is just like infectiously positive, it's really nice to be around. And I think sometimes we can be too serious. And I thought that tweet was interesting just because it was like, yeah, too many of us are doing ourselves a disservice by coming across dull because we just want to be like, this is my job and this is, please judge me as right and okay to potentially marry. When it's a first date, it's like, I want to know what you enjoy doing. I want to know what makes you smile. I want to know what makes you laugh when you have that memory randomly through an hour-long drive. I want to know like what fills you with joy and delight. Like all these things which you can't know from like a checklist of questions. You need to just discover and uncover that from the person. And I think if we more approach dating in this way of, okay, let me be a gift to this person, even if it just ends up being an hour-long coffee and I never see them again. Let me bring lightness, let me bring joy, let me listen to them, let me see them, and let me be a gift to them. I think we put ourselves under so much pressure to like be the ultimate gift. Am I your spouse? Am I the mother of your children? Am I your wife? But this robs us of that moment together with someone who, maybe you have no chemistry with, maybe you have no spark, maybe you don't even have anything in common, but you can still go with like an open heart. You can still go with the purpose of leaving that person better off. No, not everyone is gonna be for you. Only one person's gonna be for you. But we can still approach dating with this lightness, this joy, and this, let's just have fun. And that can really help to not make dating feel like such an emotional burden and such a slog, which I think it can really feel like. And I really would hope that we can encourage a culture where we can just enjoy one another in a way that just helps us feel very seen. Because I also think we've all gotten really self-conscious as well. So we're like, well, we want to come across our best. And of course you do, but you also want to come across yourself. And you know, I sing terribly, but it doesn't stop me singing. And you know, sometimes when I'm in my car and I'm having a road trip with my niece or my goddaughter, I just start singing really terribly, really loudly. And at first they're kind of like looking at me like embarrassing. But then like I see them drop their shoulders and they start singing loudly and kind of terribly, but it's much cuter when they do it. I realized it was a real gift for me to not have this self-consciousness of I need to be serious and perfect and present myself in this curated, perfect way like we're used to on the Instagram grid. It really frees you to just be. And when you can just be, then you can actually like figure out each other, because ultimately a marriage and building a family is building upon two people with all of their personalities and their quirks and, you know, their funny little habits and all these things, and building a life together. And the sooner you can really reveal a little bit of that jokey side to you, the more life is just easier. Life is just easier when you are lighter. So this is just an encouragement to, you know, be present at this first date, listen to the person, and don't be too self-conscious. Like, just be yourself and see what happens, because ultimately a second date will happen if it feels natural. And you know, I as a woman like always think it's very good to encourage the man, to give him confidence that you want to be asked out again. I think that's really helpful. And as a man, I think it's really great if you say your intentions, you know, that was a really great first date, I would love to do it again. That just makes a woman feel so desired and so seen and so like, he's being very intentional with me. So yes, we want to sprinkle in that intentionality and that kind of, you know, I'm gonna treat you with respect, but we also want to pepper in some play, some fun, and you know, just, I don't know, go play mini golf or go like dancing. So that is my wish, that we all be a little bit more lighter and just add lightness to the world, really. Like, God literally calls us to be light and to not hide our light under a bushel. So make sure that light shines on your first date, and I'm sure if a second date is meant to happen, it will happen. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. You know, the salt videos always give you that really Christ-centered perspective from people who know what you're going through, and it's a wonderful community knowing that we're praying for each other and we are walking this journey together. And if you like this video, just wait, because my next one's gonna be about what Christians get wrong in terms of this dating to marry kind of culture and mentality. So I'll see you in the next one.